when your character goes to Puerto Rico. Now, you guys are going to shoot in Puerto Rico, shot in the DR, and she's in the mirror. You know, some of the most powerful moments in this film, I feel like, are nonverbal. And that is one of the most powerful moments, and she's sort of trying to figure out who she wants to present when she goes on this impossible task of trying to convince this woman to sort of, you know, free Fonnie. What did you want to convey in that moment, and sort of talk about that scene and shooting that scene, and sort of what did you want to convey?
Well, for me, I felt like this is the first time for the audience seeing Sharon's fear. You know, I think her entire family looks at her as, if it can be fixed, if it can be done, Mama can do it, you know, and she knows that. And she appreciates that God has given her that gift. And she leans on Joe sometimes when she's not quite feeling that way, and Joe holds her up, but Joe's not there. You know, she's there by herself. She's probably never been to another country. And I thought of my grandmother, and what would it be like for my grandmother? The first time my grandmother traveled outside of the country, she was probably like late 60s, being someplace where they speak another language. And what would that feel like if my grandmother made that trip by herself? And under these circumstances. And Barry and I had conversations early on in the book. There's that scene is a shawl that she takes on and takes off. And I think a lot of us in conversations with Barry had conversations about our grandmothers and our mothers and how alike our relationships are with them. And for a lot of Black women especially, you know, you have your wig that you go handle business in, and your wig that you dress up with, you know, and, you know, depending on what you do, that's the wig you wear, and it's kind of like your superhero costume. And I wanted, and it was something Barry and I talked about, that the costume is not gonna make it better. You know, I'm in it and I'm terrified, and I don't have anyone to tell about it. And it's that moment that I think all of us have as humans at one time, whatever the circumstance may be, when it is just you in the mirror. And I didn't know that it was going to be directed that way until I landed on set, and Barry was like, "All right, Miss King." And I was like, "All right, Mr. Jenkins." He was like, "It's just you and the mirror." It's like, okay. All right, that's what we're doing, okay. So Barry, as Kiki says, he creates this environment. You just trust Barry. So we don't have a lot of time with any of the scenes that we're doing. So it's about communication and leaping and trusting. And so we took a leap.